Okay, as you can see, this is the DTC that I got from this Honda 2005 model. Alright, Honda Accord 2005 model. And the problem with this Honda is it won't rev past 2000 RPMs. The rocker arm oil pressure switch is on and is current. The oxygen sensor, 40 oxygen sensor is there, which is saying it's high voltage and it's current. And the TPS didn't actually kick in. I removed it to be sure that it's actually working, as much as the idle air control. And at last I wiped it, but the problem isn't solved. It acted like as if it's solved after wiping the code. So if you have wiped the code before and still the problem persists, then you can go ahead with this video. Let me show you what I did to get this issue solved. Hello, this is Mr. Fix. If you're new to my channel, kindly subscribe to my channel as a way to say thank you and to keep you updated with tech tips and tricks on how you're gonna be fixing your car. And if you've done that, sit back and enjoy the ride. This video is a little bit lengthy because this is not an easy issue to fix like every other video which I've been putting up there. And you know what I do, right? I am not like most of you lazy ass and some kind of bunch of jerks in the West who, if you don't want to give people information, you just keep posting a stupid video with no voice on and just showing video without actually fixing anything. But in this case, as you can look right in front of you here, you can see that these injectors are leaking. As I put it out, I put this camera on a slow motion so you can be able to take a very good look at it. And while this video proceeds, I also crank the engine, which is another way to test the injectors to make sure that they are working correctly. Which in this video also, you're gonna see that some of them actually didn't work correctly. Now pay a very good attention, because we're gonna be kicking the engine soon. You can see them, all right? And they're actually spraying very well. Now, that got me scratching my head. I've asked every best questions which I needed to ask to get the information on how this issue started. Then when I get through my scan tool, there was no any relevant code that actually pointed that could be creating such kind of a problem. The rocker arm shit can actually create that kind of a huge engine problem. I find a lot of stupid video on the YouTube that's actually pointing out that rocker arm thing, but it didn't actually solve the problem. So which really got me positive. I got my scan tool to it. I got a lot of those code which I showed you, the oxygen sensor and the rocker arm stupid thing, but it didn't actually, I know within myself that couldn't solve the problem. That is not the problem. All right, I wiped the code, the engine rev fine, but when we go on the drive test, the issue come right back again. So I've asked the owner of this car, because I've taken it to several mechanics and they couldn't fix it, even those with the computer, and they couldn't fix it before someone recommended me. Like you can see here, these injectors are leaking, but leaking as it is right now couldn't be able to create that kind of a scenario. So the question that I needed to ask, I couldn't get my head stuck really well to ask the question, because I knew within myself, right? I know at this very stage that it is, after when we go a couple of test drive, my scan tool was pointing out the oxygen sensor. I disconnected it so that the computer can actually go into open loop, some sort of pre-open loop, so it can add more fuel to the system. Because I have it right there after like 3 to 4 times drive test that it is a confirmed fuel delivery issue. But since there is no any sensor, any fuel pump sensor, I know I've got to find a way to test it, and I didn't have a tool to test the fuel pump. And I have a limited time with this car because it's already getting at night before he brought it, and I was very busy when he brought it. So I need to be faster in my diagnostics and I need to get results. So I asked him about the fuel delivery, like the fuel pump. He said they are all changed. I said okay. I tested the fuel using my fuel pump tester, which I just designed, which works very well. And the fuel pump was actually going on 50 psi. Even when the engine is revved up, it's not dropping, which shows me that the fuel pump is fine. Even without removing it, there is no any restriction. And I know that the pressure regulator control for this very car is right inside the tank. And with that fuel delivery, with that pressure, I know the next place which I have to be is right here, this injector. The main reason for this video is not just to tell you what I did, but to teach you how to troubleshoot this kind of a hectic situation where you are not finding a relevant code on the scan tool that pinpointed the problem, but yet the problem is occurring. Now take a look at these sparks that I removed. I've removed a lot of sparks from different car makes and model that are running correctly, but among all the sparks that I've removed, I have never seen any spark that is like this. I mean, this clean. It's too clean, really clean. Now the camera is kind of messing up that it couldn't actually focus, but it's white gray, it's not brownish gray. If you are very good at analyzing your spark has a lot of detail to tell you how good your engine is firing, and the fuel mixture, if it is rich or lean. If it is too lean, it should be able to tell you. So I know that there is a fuel delivery problem, but I don't know where that delivery is coming from. You just see me, I've tested the injectors and they're spraying very well. And that even got me much more much more terrified. But I wouldn't give up, because that's the last thing I would do when I'm diagnosing a car problem. I don't give up. In as much as the owner doesn't quit, I don't quit. I always, and at the end of the time, at the end of the whole thing, I always get solution. Now, in my analogy, critical analysis about this spark, the first thing here is based on the information which I got from the owner. This spark is retarded. I mean, it has overworked itself. You can look at the orange color right at the top of my fingertip right there. When any spark have got that orange color, it is due for replacement. That is just one little physical examination. So you're sticking around with this video, you're gonna learn a lot. So when that orange color appears to that to that spark, it is literally telling you that this spark has done its best, is nearly or even due for retirement. Now the gray that you can see right there, the gray spark that you can see there, shows that there is insufficient fuel going inside the combustion chamber, which a lot of things can actually trigger it. It could be from the injectors, it could be from poor fuel regulator pressure, it could actually be from the fuel pump. But I've told you that I've actually tested the fuel pump using my pressure tester, and it was showing 50 psi. Even when the engine is revved to 2000 rpms, it didn't drop, which means that the fuel pump is in good shape. And just like he said that it's new, he showed me the one which they replaced. Now, so what the heck is the problem with this car? That is the question everyone is asking. If suppose you run into this kind of a situation. Now, discovering within myself that these injectors are not performing the way they're supposed to, that they are leaking, which is number one. So I asked him that I want to see the old injectors which they switched, because he told me they changed the engine recently, and he told me that this is the injectors that were removed from the car. Now that comes another different challenge. There was an engine that was changed from this car. I want you all to pay a very good attention. There was an engine that was replaced on this car, and when they had the engine, the previous injectors that were there were transferred to this very new engine. That's a used better engine. There was no problem with the drivability, nothing, but I didn't update you very well, because initially when you drive a car, listen very carefully, when you drive a car on a low acceleration and everything is going fine, like 1500 rpms, everything is fine, but immediately when you hit the gas pedal to 3000 rpms, it started jerking, it started stalling really hard. It wouldn't get past 2500 rpms. There is a fuel delivery issue. You need to find it. So in this case, I've seen this problem like twice right now. The other time really hit my back on the ground. I mean, I was proving to be some kind of a cat, strong as cat, that I won't get my back hit on the ground, but that Civic really did a mess. I mean, seriously, it have no respect for others. So in this case, it is quite a little bit not too different, because I've inspected the injectors now. Where the reality started hitting me right there is the fact that the injectors are leaking. I told him that we gotta change it, and good enough, like you can see it right here, I just got the old one, the one that comes with this very engine that he bought, switched into it. Now when I got it switched into it, I told him we're gonna swap the injectors, because I saw the other one I have like three of them were leaking, and which I know is not good. It's going to be causing some kind of a rich condition. So I offered that I'm going to swap it out and get the one that came with this engine when he bought it in. Then you have to help me hold the camera while I crank the engine, and let's see what we got. Now when we got it right there, there are several things which I discovered which you might not be able to know if you are just watching this video. If suppose I made it without including my voice to actually tell you what I discovered and what I did to get this problem solved, you are not going to find it. So some of this one that came with the engine, and he said, and I quote, the one that comes with this very engine is taking too much fuel, so they replace it with the other. So now I get to actually understand that, like Hyundai and some other manufacturers, when they try to make some cars more fuel efficient, they reduce the injector they reduce the spray hose so that it can spray just a little bit of quantity. So even at that, when the ECM is giving more command for fuel, requesting for more fuel to compensate the loss of power inside the engine, the injector won't be able to do that. So that is what I found out here. So like you can see, this one right now is actually, you can see it, all right, you can see it is dropping. It's dropping. I just told him to on the ignition without starting the car. Now it's dropping, it's leaking. So when I kick it on, like you're seeing it right here, one is not firing. So literally the other two are not even firing as it's supposed to. I mean, they are not spraying, they are just dropping, and that is actually what causes the previous problem. So now, to cut this whole thing short, I replaced the injector with the main one that comes with the engine. While performing all these rigorous tests, I discovered that the main one that comes with this very engine squeezed more fuel into the combustion chamber, while the one that were there previously that wouldn't allow the engine to rev past 2000 rpms is giving just like half of the fuel. You can imagine that. So it's actually starving the engine of fuel and feeding it more with air, and with that the engine is not going to rev past that. So at the lower rpms the engine is going to perform fine, but at the higher rpms, when the engine need more power and torque, the engine will start jacking. Now I know you've known exactly what to do when you have this kind of a problem next time. Check everything concerning fuel delivery, the fuel pump, nothing is exempted. I guarantee you're gonna solve it. Like this one, don't overlook the injector. Okay, now that you know how to fix a car that doesn't rev past 2000 RPM from this video, do subscribe to my channel, and I hope to catch you guys later. Bye for now.